I did a test on a Sportsman 450 utility a few seasons ago, and the only thing that's changed on this new unit is the color. But since then, I've been to numerous new model intros and release events, and it's all given me a new perspective on the Sportsman 450. Don't get me wrong, improvements and advances in performance and technology are always a good thing. They are what drive the industry forward, and they're what bring us better vehicles year after year. But the simple fact of the matter is that all of this comes at a cost, literally. As performance and technology continue to advance, a large number of models get pushed farther and farther out of reach for many ATV buyers. This isn't all bad though. Companies like Polaris understand the advancement versus cost and affordability paradox and offer pared-down, budget-friendly vehicles that retail for much more realistic money. Case in point, the Sportsman 450.
Alarm goes off at 4:45. Roll out of bed, rub the sleep from my eyes. Throw on a shirt and some jeans and my boots.
So what is the utility version of a Sportsman 450? In a nutshell, it's a Sportsman 450 with everything you could possibly need to get the job done and nothing you don't. It utilizes the same 500cc single overhead cam fuel-injected engine that produces an impressive 33 horsepower. And yes, we do think it's weird that Polaris's Sportsman 450 is actually a 500, but in reality, who cares? Like age, it's just a number. A double A-arm suspension setup offers up 9.4 inches of plush travel out back, but the 450 is one of only a few Polaris models that still utilizes their tried and true McPherson struts up front. They aren't flashy and they're definitely old school tech, but they yield 8.2 inches of travel and they still work really well. Overall, the 450's ride quality is on par with any other Polaris ATV. It's plush and comfortable, but here's an interesting point. McPherson strut-equipped Polaris ATVs were notorious for light and feedback-free steering. So, while power steering is not an option on this unit, it's also not really necessary. It handles just fine without it. Now, in terms of drivetrain components, the 450 is running standard Polaris parts, though not the most recent iterations. Power is transferred through a high-low CVT transmission, and the shiftable 4x4 is the older, more basic system that Polaris uses, but it still works great. Before I get into some more philosophical ponderings about this ATV, I think we need to figure out what the utility model includes that the standard 450 doesn't. First and foremost, you'll notice right away that this Sportsman has a steel rack out back and a steel over rack up front.
Somewhere up the line, I forgot what I was working for.
This isn't so much a cost-cutting measure, but more intended to make carrying cargo on your rack infinitely more convenient, since a steel rack offers unlimited tie-down locations. It's also less likely to crack or break and need replacement if it gets damaged, and it allows the user to customize it exactly how they want by welding their own add-ons or extensions if they choose to. The front rack does still retain the under-rack storage setup though.
All I ever do is work, sleep, repeat.
Next, the 450 utility has not just a rear-mounted 1-inch hitch receiver, but it also has a front-mounted 1-inch hitch receiver. Now, the average user might not really see a huge benefit to this, but anybody who uses their ATV for lots of utility-type shenanigans is going to appreciate it big time. Finally, a heavy-duty steel front bumper Polaris calls the Farm and Ranch model and a steel lower bumper round out what makes the utility Sportsman unique. Now that we know what the Sportsman 450 utility is all about, let's talk a little bit about value. Is or isn't this ATV a great deal? And is or is it not capable of doing all the things an average ATVer is going to want to do with their ATV? The answer to both questions is a resounding yes. The 450 utility retails for just $65.49 US. For that price, you get a 33 horsepower 4x4 ATV with over 9 inches of suspension travel that can and will go anywhere and do anything you need or want it to do. It also includes a bunch of extra features that make using it for utility purposes more convenient, all at a price pretty much any ATVer could find a way to afford if they really wanted to. Circling back to our discussion at the beginning about technology and performance driving up the prices of high-end ATVs into not affordable territory, as a budget-conscious buyer, this really shouldn't upset or discourage you one bit. Because as technology continues to advance on the higher-end models, it also continues to trickle down to the more budget-friendly models as well. The Sportsman 450's excellent digital gauge package is just one example of this happening. The Sportsman 450 utility is a full-size, fully capable ATV with a long list of features found on more expensive units for a fraction of the cost. In my books, that's a win-win for anyone wanting a brand new ATV that isn't going to leave you homeless.
Thanks for watching this Dirt Track segment. Make sure you hit the subscribe button where you can watch pretty much anything related to ATV and side-by-sides.